GM, everybody. Happy Monday, middle of January. The year's going by fast. All right. So, if I would like to kick things off for this week with appreciations and wins from last week. And I'm going to kick us off again with a big appreciation for DeFi, who's up here on stage. Really running with the V2 public release and really owning every aspect of it from the engineering perspective and making sure the right people are working on the right things and doing a lot yourself too. So I really appreciate you.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate the appreciation. I want to give my appreciations to specifically Beard, Theo, Ryan this week, with some help from Major Hayes and Kevin as well. Theo and Ryan put in some PRs over the weekend, and Beard did the usual Beard behaviour of some super late night PRs that were coming in, and just did an amazing job of smashing out all this view layer stuff. So, they're the people that have been largely responsible for making this happen. So, huge thanks to them.
Yeah, I wanted to appreciate Ocean and Mr. Nerdhair for taking the reins on the ShapeShift router affiliate contract for Yearn. Seems to have worked out pretty well. And when I first saw that we were not going to be able to use the template one, it was a little worrying, and they stepped up and got it done.
And Theo, at you in that regard for that effort too, because your code pretty much you just pointed to a new router and you were up and running a new smart contract, which was our Yearn router, and the UI was working. So thank you too.
Yeah.
And I see in the audience here, I have a appreciation for 0x Apotheosis. You've been working on the ticket that I created for the Fox farming repo to point to Tokamak and to point to Ichi, the Angel Vault, and I've just watching the ticket and watching the progress there and the little interaction we had. Thank you, and I appreciate you for picking that work up. Okay, let's start rolling here on the week. I got the slide, should be visible now. And DeFi, you're going to kick us off as usual.
Muted. Oops. Very much the same update as last week. We had week 6, week of 110. 65 PRs and 5 repos, 3 new contributors, awesome, 6 bounties created and 6 closed successfully. Just spruiking our bounties again. We've had a lot of great work. We've got a lot of outstanding PRs that we're just not merging, not because of the quality, but because of the focus on this V2 launch this week. We have a release branch cut for the V2 launch this morning, and if I can share a screen really quickly, Josh, I'll give a super quick visual update on that one.
Yeah, can you, or do I? Is it only is feature only available to me?
Only the host. Disable participant screen sharing. But regardless, I'll put the link in.
Here you go. You should be able to now.
There we go. Sweet. Let me just find the right one. V2 launch. So we're just using a milestone in web because that's where all of the work really is for this. A lot of tickets, 31 closed, 3 open. Kevin, Major Hayes and I are on this one, and then we've got 2 more kind of polished tickets just for sorting some accounts and stuff, and then getting the allocations done. If anyone wants, do I want a preview for this, a sneak preview of what it looks like? Happy to do that. But basically the focus this week is just getting this V2 launch out for supporting accounts. So really quickly what it looks like. Dashboard looks much the same, showing a list of all of your assets. But we now have this accounts tab, so it shows all your different Bitcoin types of accounts. We don't have that selector anymore. And then your account-based accounts like Ethereum with tokens associated with those. So now if we go to this particular account page, we default a balance for them, and we've got charts working for those. And then you've got the tokens associated with accounts. These are going to be sorted. Those are those outstanding polish stuff. And then if you go to the individual account, so this is your Fox balance for that particular Ethereum account with your transaction history. So once we kind of sort out this balance chart bug, we're pretty much kind of dev done. So yeah, this sets us up for, solves the Bitcoin select debugs that we had on this previous like account selector type thing for Bitcoin. So instead of the account selector, you now have separate accounts for each one. So like my legacy Bitcoin account shows just that and transactions related to it. And then the Bitcoin asset page itself. So if we went to Bitcoin, we see the aggregated balance that we have across all of our accounts. So this kind of sets us up for supporting more than multiple accounts in future. But that's enough of a kind of a preview for that one. I don't know how to stop sharing in Zoom. Where's the button? I don't have that magic link. Can you like boot me out somehow? Oh, there it is on my other screen. So yeah, that's that. And from the rest of engineering, what have we got? Adam's going to be out today. Maybe Kevin can give the update as part of his for the Cosmos stuff. And then the new release process, we're still trying to adhere to that. It's going to be a bigger release this week, but yeah, going forward, trying to do 2 releases a week, which will be higher cadence, lower risk. And then after this V2 launch, we've got a bunch of really cool features coming, like ENS name support, and there's an XDeFi wallet PR outstanding as well. So there's a bunch of good stuff that's going to be coming probably next week. So that's pretty much the update that I want to give. I'll hand over to Big Kev.
Yeah, thanks. So for the back end, I guess support for V2 launch still priority. I was starting off the week last week doing some Cosmos work, specifically Open API spec generation using Go Swagger, and also serving those docs UI at the docs path so that we have that available, and then hopping over to help bring V2 over the finish line however I can. There's also been some Chain Adapters Cosmos work by Postgos early in the week, has since broken off to help with some Keep Key support bug tickets. So hoping after V2 launch, we'll jump back onto the Cosmos work full steam ahead. I could probably I don't see any SREs, so I could give a little bit of an update there as well. Middle name has put in IP rate limiting in Cloudflare so that we can have a little bit of baseline rate limiting to make sure people aren't abusing our endpoints, and then has continued to work on tweaking the monitoring so that we have all the metrics and graphs that we need throughout launch to do some analysis there, as well as just tweaking resources so that we could keep stability high and not have to worry about nodes rolling in our Kubernetes clusters. And I think there's been a little bit of movement on Unchained and TaxiStake, just trying to get some API keys and accounts set up for that full deployment to the TaxiStake AWS. And yeah, I think that's all I got. Can pass it over to Mr. Nerdhair for security.
Hey guys, first priority this week for security is to support the V2 launch effort. We have for post V2 launch stuff, I have some cool web worker stuff I got working this weekend, and I hope to demo that on Wednesday for any of you technical voyeurs out there. We'll be following up with Pendo on the security stuff we need from them, and be doing contract reviews for a couple of itchy things associated with the One Fox Angel Vault. And that's about it. I'm prepping documentation to launch with V2 for the responsible disclosure program. I'm kind of hoping we'll have a wave of interested security researchers. So it'd be nice to have something to point them to.
Thank you, Mr. Nerdhair, and Kevin. Thanks for catching the SRE update. I was ready to give it because Sam is out today. He's back tomorrow. Adam is also out. He's not feeling well. So, whenever he comes back, hoping he'll be back sometime this week. Doesn't sound like he's too seriously sick. That he'll be focused on the V2 launch and the Cosmos design. That's the priorities for engineering in general, is V2 public launch number 1, and then Cosmos number 2. And just a reminder for those working on Cosmos that we want to get out a target date for that here. Probably this week might not be possible just because we'll be so focused on the public launch, but I'd say the latest sometime next week, we want to give out a target date that will have Cosmos support in the app. And for me, recruiting is a priority. I got the job listed on crypto jobs list, and so have received a nice little influx of applicants. It's been a pretty slow trickle, and it was a little bit of a burst. We'll see if the burst stains or if it just winds up just being a burst. But regardless, I've got 8 new applicants to review and figure out how to move forward with them or not. And then this next item should say keep working on the next budget cycle. Me and DeFi and Major Hayes had some good conversations last week. The biggest part of the budget is the engineering salaries, so we made some good progress there, but we do need to work on getting a budget proposal out before the end of the month. That's the goal target for that. And then to help with the Cosmos work, we need to figure out resourcing, who can work on it, what happens after V2. Do we put more people on the Cosmos, or do we start another effort? That needs to be figured out too. So with that, I will pass it. Let's see, do we have Diggy here or Fox McCloud or someone from product?
Yeah, GM Josh, I can hop up.
Great.
Yeah, most of these updates have kind of already been talked about, obviously with V2 being the big priority right now. But we also this week are meeting up to start discussing future of the mobile app, obviously with V2 being having the hard launch, not the soft launch anymore. That begs the question of what we're going to do with mobile. I know Beard did create a great wrapped version, but is that enough to be our only mobile version? So we're going to keep talking about that and start talking and figuring out what the future holds for mobile. As DeFi Cafe just showed, we're finishing up multiple accounts. Big appreciations to DeFi Cafe and Beard for the work they've put into that already. Working on UX UI for 2-sided and 1-sided Alpine, and being able to do that from V2, which is awesome. Also working on keep key settings, initializations, things that exist in beta but don't exist in V2 right now. As you just mentioned, Josh, Osmo bonding and the rest of the Cosmo Epic is still being worked on, but yeah, won't be a number 1 priority until after V2 is launched. Finalizing the spec for the gem integration, which will give us rev share, fiat on ramp, and fiat off ramp for V2, which is fantastic. And now ETH Denver is right around the corner. We're about a month out, which is super exciting. If you guys have seen some of Huff's designs for shirts and stickers and other marketing material, and a bunch of just really exciting things are happening with ETH Denver right now. So excited that is right around the corner. And I will pass it off to Willie or Decentralized Jay or anyone else if you have anything else to add.
Nothing to add. Looking forward to V2 launch, like you said, and ETH Denver after that. I think you guys have all heard it, but we did do a call last week with Rari to show them some draft UI UX for Rari integration with ShapeShift. And as hoped, they were blown away. I really think it's safe to say, I think we came up with the best UI UX out there in the world, in the universe, for using these borrowing and lending protocols. And we did it thoughtfully in a way where not only will this UI UX work great for Rari, but it'll be very easy for any other lending protocol like Aave or Compound or Silo to come plug themselves into this UI UX. So we really designed not only great UI UX for Rari, but great UI UX for aggregating all of the lending protocols. And it was really cool to have the founder of Rari validate that and just be blown away by the UI UX we had, and mention that these were problems that they had been thinking about for a while, but hadn't really had the bandwidth to do updated UI UX for it, which I think just further validates kind of this whole vision we're pursuing, and the idea of providing an aggregated UI UX for all these different types of DeFi protocols, whether it's trading or lending or bonding or earning yield. And they also, Rari said that in addition to this being great motivation to move forward with that token swap proposal, they said that a affiliate revenue share would be a no-brainer. And they were going to look in to see if it was already supported on their protocol level. If not, we can talk about maybe putting together like a router contract like we did with Yearn, so that they can track ShapeShift user deposits, and we can work out an affiliate revenue deal there. But yeah, I know we're all focused on V2, but wanted to share that because I'm really excited about it, and I think it's just great validation for our overall vision, and just looking forward to getting this V2 out there, getting the word out there, and establishing more partnerships with this whole world of amazing projects, and providing them with a free open source UI UX, and working out some affiliate revenue deals so the DAO can benefit.
Hey, Willie, thanks for that update. And, I heard it in some other meeting last week, and I was thinking about this, and I was meant to ask, so I'll ask now. Would they be interested in also like having it be a joint development effort where they put even one of their developers to work with us on it?
They did mention that they were happy to support. We didn't get into the details of like, would you guys actually allocate engineering resources to this? But they definitely said that they would be happy to support and would have like engineers available to answer questions for us, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think in this case, because their part of the motivation was that they'd be doing a token swap, so investing a lot of stable coins in, and then doing the affiliate rev share, that they weren't like immediately offering engineering help to allocate towards it. But we can certainly have that conversation.
Okay. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, you talked about ETH Denver, just something to think about for particularly, for the engineering work stream, but really other people that are either familiar with the code base or not. We are, as part of our sponsorship, we're going to be sponsoring a couple ETH Denver bounties. And since all of our code is open source, I think a great bounty would not just be to use some of our code somewhere else, but bounties to add features or functionality into the product would be really cool, right? We have to think about what doesn't require too much pattern development maybe. And just because it's a bounty doesn't mean that we have to accept the PR in. We can still pay out a bounty for an awesome proof of concept that we can then take and flush out or do whatever we need to do to make it acceptable to our code quality. So everyone just be thinking about this. It's about a month away. We need to think about it within the next couple weeks. We need to know what our bounties that we're going to offer are going to be, and DeFi is going to have the opportunity to present it up on some stage somewhere. At least I saw those details. I can't remember the exact, but that'll be like people in the audience, and it'll be live streamed and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big opportunity coming off of this launching, talking about what's to come, and then getting some developers in the community really excited about doing some work and through their bounties will be super excellent opportunity for us. So think about what that might be. I think it's a week that they have, and then maybe some of the teams just work one of the weekends. We got to get some of these details, but think about that too. It can't be some huge multi-week.
I'm glad you're getting ahead of that, Josh, because I think it's a really good thing to be thoughtful about. We're already, we're taking all these funds and allocating it towards bounties, and the engineers are going to pick up those bounties and build cool stuff. So the more kind of guidance and thought we can put into just what we want to incentivize, I think is well worth it. Keep in mind that a lot of these, the way that these hackathons work is that every sponsor will put up kind of their own bounties saying, hey, we're going to reward the best implementation of HD Wallet, right? Just as an example, with first, second, and third place. So we put up bounties, but then there's also just this broader competition, right? So hackers are coming to ETHDenver. They're trying to think of like, what's the coolest thing I can build that might, actually be the coolest project, win first place is what everyone's thinking, right? So oftentimes they're building something new, some new prototype. And if we have libraries, or if we can say, hey, building it on ShapeShift will benefit both. It'll be a good benefit for your hackathon project because we have all these amazing libraries and tools. Then that's a good way to do it. So we can put up bounties to say, hey, come just build something on top of ShapeShift. But if it's not something that a hacker thinks could actually win the overall hackathon, then we probably aren't going to get the coolest projects. And so and it's just something to keep in mind as we think about it. If we have a meeting about this, I'd be happy to come talk more about it. But like one example, I posted in ETHDenver for a hackathon project that was to do like the app store prototype with using signed messages as reviews. That I think is an awesome type of project that we could put some bounty behind, and then whoever builds that could have a chance at winning the hackathon. It could actually also be something that could get implemented in ShapeShift. So that's a cool way to think about it too. Things that could win the hackathon, but could also be built on ShapeShift, and that we could put bounties around.
Yeah, like we could be the UI for whatever their project is. You can use Unchained, and you can use our UI as a starting point. Anyway, things to think about, but we got to stay focused on V2 right now. But just wanted to put that in the back.
Spitballing another bounty idea, I think a sufficiently motivated person could probably add Matic support to MetaMask, which would be cool. Just thinking out loud, though.
Yeah, Matic support in ShapeShift through MetaMask.
Yeah.
Stuff like that could be cool. And I'm curious, like Wallet Connect and ShapeShift would be another great one, but I am curious too, like if those types of things will actually get picked up, because Polygon and ShapeShift isn't the type of thing that would win like a hackathon project.
Right, because it wouldn't win, right? It would just be a little piece of bounty. I see what you're saying, Willie.
And another way to keep it open-ended is just to be like, like you were saying, the best implementation of Unchained, and stuff like that, or the best UI UX for something built on top of ShapeShift Web, something like that. Gives it more open-ended.
Yeah. Good points. Okay, everybody. Well, let's see. Any questions or any other updates from anyone? Feel free to raise your hand, and I'll bring you up on stage if anybody has anything to add or ask. All right. Well, have a great week, everybody. Look forward to seeing you around. Thank you for joining.